Quick question, Mr. Presiding Officer, to the witness and
You
to
have 2
the
minutes, sir.
prosecution or prosecutor here. Mr. Witness, kailan ba talaga finale itong kaso laban kay VP?
Yung una na affidavit po, Your Honor, nag-file kami January 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Taon po, anong taon?
2025, sir.
2025.
And then nag-require po ang Department of Justice ng compliance dahil sabi nga nila nung una na certification insufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation and must be referred for a case build-up. Now, ang ginawa po namin, kinumply po namin yung kanilang mga requirements. And then, come 11 February 2025, niresubmit po namin yung aming affidavit of investigation, Your Honor.
Nasaan na po itong kaso? Naisampa na po ba ng DOJ o hindi pa?
I think ongoing po ang preliminary investigation.
1 year, preliminary. 1 year, over 1 year. January to January is 1, February, March, April, May, June, July. Is that normal for the DOJ to conduct a preliminary about over a year, Mr. Witness?
Di ko po masasagot, sir.
Hindi ninyo
Sorry po.
masagot. Could it be, hindi po kayo nagtatanong sa kanila, Sir, ano problema? Bakit hindi po pa naisasampa sa korte yung aming isinampang kaso dito sa inyo? Hindi po kayo nagtataka?
Ang alam ko, sir, Your Honor.
No, hindi kayo nagtanong po sa kanila kung bakit? May kulang pa po ba DOJ? Ano pong kakulangan?
Pag ang referral po, Your Honor, is nasa DOJ na, hands off na ho kami doon. Sila ho ang magde-decide noon kung paano nila ipaprocess yung dokumento.
Kaya nga, hindi po kayo nagtataka. Hindi kaya, sir, dito sa mga nakita po natin mga ebidensya rito, mukhang sablay-sablay, parang minadali ho ninyo. Ay kaya nagkakaproblema ho tayo sa mga korte natin na i-dismiss sa mga kaso dahil kulang ang mga dokumento at parang minadali. But nevertheless, you don't have to answer me that. Let me direct my question now to the prosecutors. Mr. Prosecutor,
Yes.
ito po mga ebidensya na nakita ho natin, hindi pa ninyo ni-review na may mga nakita, hindi nyo nakita itong inconsistencies.
Okay.
Doon nga po sa sinasabi ng defense na pinirmahan, sinubscribe, pero mas maaga yung nga pagtanggap.
Your Honor, as to whether we perused that, Your Honor, please. Unfortunately, we were not party to the preparation of this.
No, but this was
documents.
submitted
Yes, Your Honor.
as evidence, right?
Yes, Your Honor,
Correct.
please. Yes, Your Honor, please. That's why this
Pero-
witness is more than competent to answer that. But the main point of the prosecution, Your Honor, please, they already filed and complied with these requirements and addressed these defects, if you may, by filing a February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. That's why, if you have observed our good Senator Judge, we have been objecting as to the relevance of this. Exactly because what is in contention now is the latest affidavit of investigation that is now pending before the DOJ, Your Honor, please.
All right. And just a quick manifestation to the NBI. Mr. Witness, next time po pag nagsampa ho kayo ng kaso, make sure, kaya nga I was asking you kanina, I already have this feeling something is wrong dahil sobrang tagal na sa DOJ ng kaso ninyo. There's something wrong with the case. Siguro po, next time, make sure na yung kaso isasampa ninyo is airtight. Tama po. Kasi madidismiss yan. Yung mga kaso na medyo hindi po tight talaga ang kaso. Ano po?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sayang naman yung inyong pinaghirapan. Doon, ang dami natin nakita. Totoo po lang na nagmura ang vice-presidente, nagbanta ang vice-presidente. Sa ngayon naman po ako, nakita ko naman po yun. Pero pagdating po yun, usually pag sa technicalities tayo nagkakaproblema. Don't forget that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Quick manifestation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Noted, Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo. Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Less than 2 minutes, quick clarification lang. So January 30, yung unang affidavit of investigation.
Yes,
Tama?
sir.
January 30, tapos February 5, yun yung sagot ng DOJ na may 7 notes.
Yes, Your Honor.
At February 5, yun din ang filing nung impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara DUTERTE. And then, which you said wala kang knowledge doon. I'm just looking at the dates. Then February 10, yung revised na dun sa mga, ang ginamit ng DOJ word insufficiency, yung 1 to 7, na punuan, no? Or whatever the term is. So, ang sagot ng witness, sir, sagot mo yung February 3, baka attachment lang kasi nung una yon.
Yes, sir, I think so.
Pero hindi siya pwedeng attachment nung una kasi January 30 sinubmit yun eh. So, hindi ka naman pwede mag-submit ng January 30 na attachment mo February 3. So, you went 3 days into the, or 4 days into the future kasi may 31 yung January.
Well, sir, siguro ang
Ganda leche-leche na po to.
makakasagot po niyan si Agent Calilong, sir. Since
Okay.
Walang alam to.
I don't think you can answer it. Point ko lang, hindi logical na it was an attachment sa January 30 because wala pang February 3 nun eh. So hindi pwedeng post-dated affidavit. The second question lang, sa parehong investigative affidavit of investigation na sinubmit, walang input doon ang PSG isa.
Pati si Bendalo kumampi na rin dito sa depensa eh. Si Bendalo, narinig niyo si Bendalo? Oo. walang kwentang witness to. Oy, tanggalin niyo yan. Paalisin niyo, labas. Ilabas niyo yung witness na yan. Walang kwenta yan. Ilabas niyo. Walang kwentang witness.
PSC, ISAF, CIDG. So kayo lang yan.
statement, Your Honor, yung inattach po namin.
Ilabas yan.
So what I meant is that questions kanina nung many here, including the Senate President Win Gatchalian, na did you consult the investigation ng PSC, etc. So nung final nyo to, walang input directly or indirectly ang Presidential Security Command, ang ISAF, ang PNP, CIDG, and anyone else, the National Security Council. So purely NBI to.
No personal knowledge
Ilabas
kung
nyo!
may correspondence ng ibang agency with the director.
Sorry, hindi kayo pwedeng walang personal knowledge kasi ikaw nag-file eh.
Oo.
Ikaw nakapirma dun sa affidavit. So you would know whether dun sa affidavit na yon they had input or not.
Oo.
No one
Your
else
Honor.
could know because you're the one who signed it.
Yes, Your Honor. In so far as the Cybercrime Division is concerned, kami po yun yung gumawa
Yes.
noon.
So the answer is they had no input.
Hindi ko alam kung... well, in so far as the affidavit is concerned, amin po yun, Your Honor. Now, kung correspondence between other agencies and the NBI, hindi ko na po alam kung may usapan
Okay.
yung
Thank you.
director
Thank you,
at saka ibang
Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Po.
Thank you, Senator Judge Cayetano, Senator Judge Ontiveros, thereafter Senator Judge Ejercito. Am I correct, JV? Senator Judge
Investigation. Objection argumentative. The question was asked. He said we complied, and then he's now asking the
I'm
same
asking
question.
who? I'm asking if there is another person who directed you to satisfy the requirement.
Overruled.
withdraw,
Witness
withdraw.
will answer. Witness is an intelligent witness, aside from the fact that he's a lawyer.
Your Honor, when we received the certification dated 05, February 2025, ito ho yung kinumply namin.
All right. And you added affidavits executed by your agents, correct? To your revised affidavit of investigation, correct?
No, we didn't revise the affidavit of investigation. We just produced the affidavits of the fact that the video was recorded and there was TSN. Yun ho yung inattach namin sa affidavit of investigation.
Naku!
So you are
Wala
denying
naman.
that
Denying.
you produce a revised affidavit of investigation.
Well, when you say kasi revised affidavit, binago namin yung affidavit namin. Hindi ho namin binago, Your Honor, yung affidavit namin. Nag-require ho ang Department of Justice, kulang kayo ng affidavit as to the fact na nirecord nyo yung video, kulang kayo doon sa affidavit kung sino nag-execute ng TSN, etc. But not the substance ng affidavit, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go back to the point later, but let me highlight one very important observation. Okay, your January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation included a transmittal letter, as you said, as well as in an investigation data form or IDF, correct?
Wala akong kopya dito, sir.
You don't have a copy. Okay. In fact, let's show that IDF. Page 12, this is page 12 of Annex G9 for the benefit of this honorable court as well. Okay, this is an investigation data form. You're very familiar with this document because you're an investigator, correct? Now, this was
Kindly wait for the witness to answer.
he
Are you
nodded his
familiar?
head.
Yeah, investigation data form, sir.
Okay.
Opo, Your Honor.
All right. So, in other words, the IDF serves like a cover letter for your affidavit of investigation, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the transmittal letter, along with this IDF, was received by the DOJ, correct?
Correct, correct.
Yeah, I believe so, sir.
All right. Now, my question is this. Was the investigation data form also received by the DOJ?
Correct, correct.
I don't have personal knowledge.
You don't have, but you were the one who caused the filing of the affidavit
No,
attached to this
I-
affidavit of investigation data
I
form,
instructed
correct?
the agent on case as well as the executive officer na pagkumpleto na, pwede ninyo nang i-file yan sa Department of Justice for purposes of evaluation and case build-up if warranted, sir.
Okay. But here, upon perusal of this investigation data form, there is a stamp received in the upper left portion of this data investigation form. And I'd like to note, Your Honor, and for the benefit of the court, can I ask my co-counsel also to distribute among the senator judges a printed copy so that they can peruse this document better, as well as the witness so he can confront. There is a stamp Department of Justice received, but it appears
Forger.
that it was initially stamped February 2, 12, 2025, but there is a marking, a manual marking that converted it to January 30, and there is also a word there, JAN. So January 30. Ang lumabas, no?
Okay.
My question to you is this. The stamp says Department of Justice, correct?
Well,
No, it's-
wala
it's-
akong hawak na document ko,
You
Your
can
Honor.
perceive it.
Kung-
And
kung
mind you,
yung-
these are not our documents. These are part of Annex G9 of the Articles of Impeachment. So these
Yan.
are not our documents.
Your Honor, I would like to object now. The witness already said that he is not aware as to the actual filing because he only asked his agent on case to investigate. And then now the witness is now being propounded to question as to what appears on the stamp as to the time or date of receipt by the DOJ. So the witness said he is not competent to answer that. Your Honor, please. Oh, wait, I'm not done. That's the first one. Your Honor, please. No need for the court to rule, but I am registering my continuing objection to this series of questions as to the prior affidavit
Frustrated
of
na.
investigation. When in fact, this witness already said that he complied with all the requirements by the DOJ and came up with
Frustrated na si Tawilis, Atty. Tawilis.
February 10, 2025 affidavit investigation. So I move that it be noted, Your Honor, please. The
The
continuing
continuing
objection.
objection of counsel for the prosecutor is noted, but counsel, as pointed out by counsel for the respondent, this is part and parcel of the complaint
Tama.
that the panel of prosecutors filed
Tama.
before this court. If the witness knows, he may answer.
So the question is, the SAM says Department of Justice, correct? It's a very basic question.
Again, I don't know, Your Honor.
Based on this document,
Argumentative, Your Honor.
the only question is, it says Department of Justice, correct?
Yes.
As I've said, Your Honor, hindi ho ako ang nag-file. May inutusan ho ako.
Do you see it in the screen and do you see it in the hard copy?
Counsel asked and answered, move on. That's
Okay.
the response of the witness.
So, will you agree that considering that this was supposed to be received by the DOJ, it is only the DOJ that has the authority to change the date?
Oh, di
Again,
ba?
you asked the DOJ, sir. Wala ho akong
Exactly.
idea dyan.
All right.
Counsel for the prosecution, kindly avoid.
All right, but
side remarks.
this is not from the DOJ. This is your copy. This is a receiving copy. So when you receive back your receiving copy, you did not bother checking this portion?
Your Honor, hindi ako personally nag-receive niyan.
But this is your affidavit of investigation.
Objection,
di ba?
argumentative, Your Honor. Ask and answered.
Asked and answered, move on, counsel.
All right. My question to you now is this. The discrepancy is not 1 day or 2 days. The discrepancy is from Feb 12 to January 30. So it is a substantial discrepancy. My question to you is this. Who changed this
Objection.
date? If you know,
Your
if
Honor.
you know.
That's misleading, Your Honor. My goodness, that's misleading. This council is assuming that somebody changed what? The council failed to...
Kasi nga mga ka-reaction, may bumago dun sa date. Minanipulate yung date. Ngayon, si Attorney Tawilis, hindi niya pinababayaang magtanong itong counsel ni VP Sara. Anong klaseng article of impeachment ang pinagagawa ninyo kung dinoktor-doktor ninyo yung mga date? Pwede ba yan? Hindi pwede yan. Bagsak yan. Erasure no erasure January February, ginawan January.
Elicit any answer from this witness. And now the council is conceiving that somebody changed that and confronting our witness with that. Misleading. This is the classic case of a misleading question.
Counsel-
You assume something that has yet to be established. That's not how we do it, with all due respect.
Council for Respondent, I think you made your point and you gave a copy to the senator judges, and we see your point.
All right.
One.
But my more important observation is this.
Objection, Your Honor, please. You are supposed to ask questions.
Yes,
and not
I will.
make
I will go to the
Kindly-
question. I will go to the question.
Kindly allow counsel for Respondent to finish his question. He may just still be laying the basis. You may
Thank you,
proceed,
Your Honor.
counsel.
That's precisely
for
what I'm doing, Your Honor. Can I direct everyone's attention to the date appearing at the bottom portion of this document?
Yun!
It says here,
Counsel, technically not everyone, just the witness.
Yes.
And let's see if the witness can answer your question.
it says here February 11,
Ah.
2025. So in other words, it was and it says here subscribed before NBI agent Ricarte.
Ah.
In other words, the date of the document is February 11, but it was received on January 30, 2025 by the DOJ. Do you have any explanation for this? That's the
Objection,
question.
Your Honor. Objection. This witness is incompetent to attest to that exactly because he said he is not aware of this series of facts. I know where the counsel for respondent is going. Unfortunately for him, his line of argument was already nipped in the bud when this witness said he is not aware of that. He should move on to other points.
Your Honor, the witness said that the investigation date, this investigation data form was attached to the original affidavit of investigation. And we want an explanation why there is a discrepancy on the date. The witness is a lawyer.
Exactly.
He has
that's
an
the point.
experience, Your Honor, in filing cases. We just want to know, Your Honor. We want to get to the bottom of this
I have to
matter.
object to that. I have to object to that.
Considering
the
also,
witness-
Your Honor, that this is about transparency.
Will the parties please settle down? If the witness knows, Attorney Latok, do you know? Can you explain the discrepancy, or are you personally aware of the discrepancy?
I cannot explain this, Your Honor. Unang-una, hindi ako nakapirma dito, hindi ako nag-receive. At wala akong idea dito sa...
But Attorney Latok, you see the point that the counsel for respondent is trying to make, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That the
But,
date of receipt was changed to 1/30, January 30, but it was subscribed to on February 11.
Oh.
Meaning, you see it, but you have no personal knowledge how
Kasi
that came
February
about.
5 po
Yes,
yung
Your
ano
Honor.
yung impeachment
I don't
February
Come on,
5.
counsel.
Yeah.
So, doesn't this
Kasi February 5 po yung impeachment di ba? Oh.
demonstrate that
Oh.
that the document was
Allow
tampered
counsel to
with?
finish.
Doesn't this demonstrate, if you know that this document was tampered with? does
Objection,
that
Your Honor.
demonstrate
Exactly. He's now arguing with our witness, Your Honor.
Sustained. Move on, counsel. Move on to your next topic, counsel.
Your Honor, but you agree, Attorney Lotok, that the IDF is not a simple cover letter, correct?
Ask and answer, Your Honor.
Okay, in fact, it is an affidavit, correct?
Yeah.
An IDF is an affidavit, correct?
An ID? I don't think so, Your Honor. It's not an affidavit, Your Honor. It's
The investigation data form.
not an affidavit.
So you don't agree. So in other words, this certification part here, and with the subscribed and sworn to, it is for you. This is not an affidavit.
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just
Objection,
I just made my
argumentative.
question more specific, Your Honor. There is a part
certify nga
here, subscribed and sworn to, and the witness is, I want to ask the witness if he considers this document as an affidavit despite this portion. What's the answer? Is it an affidavit or
Attorney
not?
Latok, is this sworn to? Is this document sworn to? The What's the title of the instrument again? Can you go up?
Investigation data form, Your Honor.
Na-corner na dito, na-corner na.
Investigation data form subscribed
Na-corner
and
na.
sworn to by the person filing.
Na-corner na mga ka-reaction.
To your knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor. There is subscribed and sworn to before this 11th
Eh, di affidavit
day of
yan.
February, and signed by the administering officer.
Okay.
And as law practitioners, we know that when we file a case before the office of the city prosecutor, this actual page is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor,
Your Honor,
correct?
again.
If
Objection.
you know, you are a
Continued
lawyer and you are a
objection as to-
supervisor
If
of
I
your
may.
department. I'm just asking a basic question.
I am now-
As a law practitioner, as a lawyer, you know that this IDF is signed and subscribed before the public prosecutor when you file a case, correct?
If I may objection, Your Honor, continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of
Noted,
questions.
same
Your Honor, please.
ruling. Witness may answer if he knows.
Pahiya, pahiya.
Again, Your Honor, before the prosecutor.
Correct.
yeah.
In normal cases, the IDF is subscribed and sworn to before the public prosecutor, correct?
Well, in this case, Your Honor, it was administered by AD Assistant Director Glenn Ricarte, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Isn't Ricarte from the NBI?
Yes, Assistant Director po siya.
In other words, this is a DOJ document, but you made your subscription before an NBI agent. Isn't that supposed to be before the DOJ agent?
But again, wala akong personal knowledge dyan sa details na yan, sir. Siguro tanungin nyo kung sino ho yung naka-affix ang signature.
All right.
dyan, sir.
But what is worse, if I can direct
Your Honor,
your-
objection. Another objection, Your Honor. You know, this council is in the habit of inserting,
Your Honor,
adding value
if we may
to what is otherwise.
Just be allowed to continue, Your Honor. This is our time. We've given them enough leeway, Your
Counsel for
Honor,
the
after more than
prosecutors,
hours.
Let him lay the basis of his question.
Yes.
All right. Can I direct your attention to the upper right portion of this IDF?
Naku po,
States
na-corner na.
docketed 3/7/2025, and there is a docket number XVI-INV-25C-00048. Again, this is not with the source of this document is not the DOJ. This is your receiving copy, correct? In fact, this was part of the subpoena documents which you sent to the House of Committee on Justice, correct?
Objection. Compound questions. 2 questions.
Okay, I'll
Kindly reform, counsel.
So, all right. My question is this, okay? So, do you confirm that there is a marking on the upper right which says docketed 3/7/25, and there's a docket number assigned?
In this document, sir, yes.
All right. We manifest, Your Honor, that this is still the same Annex G9. So in other words, you're telling this court that this document was subscribed on February 11, 2025, received on January 30, 2025, and docketed on whatever it is, July 3 or March 7, 2025. Is that what you're saying?
That's compound. That's compound. You're asking 2 dates and asking for 1 question.
No, Your Honor, I just described the document
Exactly.
as it
Compound
is.
question. Ask 1 question per date. That is exactly the genius why we don't allow compound questions. You're asking 2 questions and asking this witness to answer once. That's dangerous. That's
Counsel,
compound question.
counsel, presiding officer will clarify the matter. Questions were earlier asked already with respect to the February subscription and the January 30 receipt. Insofar as the docketing is concerned, do you see the numbers and or dates 3/7/25, Attorney Latok?
Yes, Your Honor, in this document, there is number 3/7/25.
And for clarity, NPS docket means National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Opo. Yes,
So
Your
it's a
Honor.
docket of the National Prosecution Service.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, counsel.
All right. So now I'm showing you pages 169, 168, 169 also of Annex G9. This pertains to the affidavit of Agent Kalilung, which is an attachment now to the revised affidavit of investigation. You added this document to rectify the January 30 affidavit of investigation, correct?
Again, sir?
You added this document in order to rectify the January 30, the first affidavit of investigation, correct?
Pare-pareho yung
And
kanilang mga
we will
ebidensya.
confront you with the document. Again, these are not our documents.
The document was signed by
Grabe.
Agent Mark Calilong and subscribed and sworn to before Attorney Van Homer Angluben.
Hindi na tama yung kanilang mga ebidensya, mga ka-reaction.
So in other words,
Hindi na tama.
I just want to take a look on the date. Can we flash the date? So when you received the February 5 certification from the DOJ, you executed this and it was February 10.
Objection.
correct?
Oh,
I'm not the one
that's
who
now
executed
misleading.
it.
That's misleading. It's Agent Calilo who executed that, and then you're asking you executed that. That's misleading.
No.
It's clear
But
on the record.
But this is part of the revised affidavit of investigation, which this
Objection
witness
revised.
co-signed.
The
If he
witness
knows-
already said
if
that
he
they
knows.
did not revise it. They just complied. Misleading, Your Honor.
Oh, you want to
Misleading.
go? Okay, since the,
Counsel, kindly settle down. The question, Attorney Lotok, is did you add, in order to comply with the DOJ requirement, this affidavit signed by Agent Calilong? And is the date February 10? Meaning in compliance with the DOJ observation, is this one of the affidavits that you added? And is it dated?
Although I don't have my record, it appears so, Your Honor, based on the document shown to me by the counsel.
Both as to the fact that it was one of the affidavits added and as to the date, Attorney Lotok.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All
Move
right.
on, Counsel.
I am showing you another affidavit. This is page 178, 179 of Annex G9. This now pertains to the Geran affidavit. This was also an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation.
Objection
correct?
again, Your Honor, please. The continuing use of revise, when this witness already said that they did not revise anything, they just complied with the requirement. That's now misleading.
Your Honor, just
many times over, misleading.
All right, just to put this issue at rest, Your Honor, I'm confronting the witness with a letter to Richard Anthony D. Fadulion dated February 11, 2025. And I want to read, Your Honor, the last paragraph thereof. It says, to support our recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation. This is not our document. This is the NBI's document. Can Attorney Lotok be confronted with this document, please?
It
Attorney
was signed.
Lotok, please answer.
Yes, Your Honor. It was signed by then Director Judge Jaime B. Santiago.
Can you confirm the last sentence for the record? Can you read it for the record?
To support the recommendation, attached herein is the revised affidavit of investigation, including its attachment.
Can you repeat the word before the word affidavit of
Ask and
investigation,
answered,
please?
Your Honor. Ask
Asked
and
and
answered.
answered. So,
Then I'm not misleading after all. Anyway,
Objection, Your Honor. That's an unnecessary statement. Counsel, you're supposed to ask questions and not make these remarks.
Counsels, kindly settle down. We're about to wind up the day.
all right. I'm showing you now pages, proceed, 178 to 179 of the revised affidavit of investigation. Can you be confronted with that document? The date is February 10, 2025. I just want to confirm the date, if that is correct. As it
Date?
appears from the document.
As it appears here, 10th day of February 2025.
Oh, very well. I am showing you now pages 187 to 188 of Annex G9, also a Kalilong affidavit, which is an attachment to the revised affidavit of investigation. Can we flash the date of that document?
What's the question?
Also February 10. So in other words, you attach this to your revised affidavit of investigation.
It appears here, 10th day of February 2025, sir.
And you attached it to your affidavit of investigation, correct?
As an attachment, sir.
All right, very good. Now, showing you 199 to 200 of Annex G9. Now, this is the Asuncion affidavit. And I'll make a point in a couple of questions, Your Honor. Can you just confirm the date also and if it was attached to your revised affidavit of investigation?
10th day,
Wala na pong maayos din sa ebidensya nila, mga ka-reaction, ha?
All right. So it was attached also to your
Wala ba?
revised affidavit of investigation.
Nagkakanda, leche-leche na po sila. Sa date pa lang, wala na.
Yes.
All right. Now this is the question. I'm showing you now page 112 of Annex G9. Another Kalilong affidavit. Did you also add this to rectify your January 30 affidavit of investigation or the first affidavit of investigation? We have here a soft copy, affidavit of transcription. Was this also a document that was lacking in your first affidavit of
No
investigation?
po, yun ang sinasabi
which you
natin.
added to your revised affidavit of investigation.
Again, Your Honor, registering my continuing objection as to the relevance of this series of questions that is consuming the entirety of the defense's turn to cross-examine this witness. What's the relevance?
Noted. Same ruling. Witness may answer.
Again, Your Honor,
Was this also part of the revised affidavit of investigation to rectify the defects that we highlighted a while ago?
no, there was no rectification. There was no defect. Again, this is part of the compliance given us by the Department of Justice for us to comply.
All right, if you want to use that term. So in other words, after you received the Feb 5 certification, this was also one of the documents that you attached to your revised affidavit of investigation. Correct?
I believe so. Part of the compliance,
All right.
sir.
My issue is this. Let me direct your attention to the bottom portion of this affidavit. It says here, in witness hereof, I have... Can you zoom that in? I can't read it. The date is February 3, 2025. Can you zoom that in? So in other words, you are trying to convince this court that when you...
What's the question? What's the question?
This is the question. Are you trying to convince this court that you executed this affidavit prior...
Objection, misleading.
He did not execute
not.
the
No,
affidavit.
sorry. You attached this affidavit prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification?
Prior to what, Your Honor? February 10?
Okay. You received a certification on February 5, 2025,
Yep.
correct? And you said that you added affidavits after receipt thereof. Now, you mentioned a while ago that this was one of the affidavits that you added, and yet the date came prior to the DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025. Do you confirm this?
I think ang makakasagot po niyan si Agent Kalilong, Your Honor, kasi may mga attachment na kami during the first affidavit na na-include na doon sa mga nire-require ng prosecutor na nandun na. And then nung nag-issue ang prosecutor gaya po ng number 2, the press briefing, sige muna. Ito, Your Honor, gaya ng number 1, there is no affidavit of the persons who recorded the video entitled BP November 23, Press Con at Batasan through OBS. When in truth and in fact, kasama ho na in-attach na doon yung affidavit of authentication doon sa unang affidavit.
So in other words, you're telling this court that the DOJ made this mistake? That there was no...
Not necessarily, Your Honor. Pwedeng hindi nakita ng prosecutor na naka-attach na yun.
Hindi
Kasi
lang
nandun
nakita.
po sa date na January 30 yung execution ng affidavit of authentication.
Your Honor, if before we continue, Your Honor, I'm noticing something, Your Honor, please. The defense is in the process, has been presenting portions of an alleged document, and they're making notes. I don't think that's proper, Your Honor. When you present a document, you present the document as is. You don't make annotations.
Exactly, Your
Note
Honor.
number 2. That's not proper, Your Honor.
We are presenting the actual document and we're confronting it. This is just to address, Your Honor, what was intimated by the senators that they want to be able to follow the discussion, Your Honor, using the screen.
If I may, my problem with that, Your Honor, please, because it's like you presenting your observation on a document and you're showing that to the court when what you're supposed to do is just to confront this witness with a document without any annotations. That's just my observation, Your Honor.
Noted. Counsel, please proceed. For respondent, please proceed.
Meaning, but if you go to the contents, right, it says here, and let me read, the press briefing conducted on October 18, 2024 was not recorded and or stored in a DVD. No video submitted and there was no TSN of the said briefing. And do you confirm now that this note on Feb 5 was actually addressed by the affidavit submitted by Agent Calilo?
What? Come again, sir?
This note was satisfied by the submission of the affidavit by Agent Calilo.
What affidavit, sir?
The affidavit of transcription dated February 3.
But can I see the affidavit, sir?
Yeah.
Para lang sure.
The one that we showed a while ago. It pertains to the same because if you read here, if I may be allowed to read paragraph 1, can you zoom that in? Or no, paragraph 2, it says there, in relation to the ongoing investigation, the undersigned was tasked to transcribe. So this transcribed the screen-recorded video of the press conference of VP Sara on 18 October 2024. So in other words, this was exactly what the DOJ required, correct?
Yeah, base certification na in-issue, ang sabi ng DOJ, the press briefing conducted in October 18, 2024 was not recorded and was stored in a DVD. There was no TSN of the said briefing and the necessary affidavit of the person taking the TSN.
And yet, on its face, this was, because the date is February 3, on its face, this was executed prior to the Feb 5, 2025 certification, which noted this requirement.
As I've said, Your Honor, ang nag-uusap ho dyan ng prosecutor at saka si Agent Calilong, may mga attachment ho kasi nung first affidavit na hindi napansin ng prosecutor. So
That's your answer. Okay. So, but the thing is, if I, let's go back to the IDF, investigation data form. Now, the docket number that is indicated here is XVI INV 25C-0008. But in the Feb 5, 2025 certification, can we flash that? The docket number is different, appears to be different. It's XVI EVAL-INV 25A-0049. Moreover, in the subsequent DOJ certification dated Feb 14, 2025, the docket number is also XVI.INV-25A-0049. Do you confirm the difference in the docket numbers?
Your Honor, no personal knowledge and DOJ ho ang naglagay ng docket number niyan.
But do you confirm that it was different? These are all received copies.
Ask an answer, Your Honor, please. Ask an answer, argumentative.
No, the question, the answer is not responsive.
Counsel, move on.
So in other words, despite the discrepancy in numbers, you still decided to push through with the case.
What, Your Honor?
Despite the discrepancy in docket numbers, you still decided to push through with the handling of this case, correct?
Again, I cannot confirm on the numbers because it's the DOJ who placed that number, sir. Ulitin ko ho, mas maganda ho tanungin nyo ang Department of Justice, sir. Chan.
But insofar as you are concerned, as the you are the complainant in this case, correct? Insofar as you are concerned, what is the correct docket number Is it the one ending in 0049?
I will now object.
Or
I will
is
now
it the
object.
one ending in 0048? What
I
they
will-
used, Your Honor?
I will now object on the ground of misleading. You showed two docket numbers which appear different. And you have yet to establish that there is a wrong one and a correct one. And you have not established that. This witness said he is not aware of that. You have not established that there is something to be corrected. That's why the objection now, Your Honor, please. That's misleading. You assume that something is wrong that has to be corrected. Misleading.
Counsel, witness is not competent to answer your question. He already responded that this is a DOJ format. He is not aware, and that it might be proper to ask the DOJ instead at the proper time. Move on with another point, Counsel. I think we've unless there's another inconsistency, you can move on to another inconsistency or another point.
Your Honor, just one last on this point. But in terms of what you followed, because as we know, you submit subsequent pleadings as to these two docket numbers. Which one did you follow? The 00048 or the 0049?
Well, I don't have the record here, Your Honor. If I can check my own record.
Do you have it with
Can
you
you do
now?
that now?
Counsel, can you give him a copy of his record?
Yung full record. Tingnan ko. Yeah. tsaka lang.
The chair finds that relevant because in filing additional pleadings or other materials to the DOJ, they need to indicate the NPS number for reference. So which one are you following? Which one did you follow subsequent to this?
Yes, sir. February. Wala rito ah. Ito ba? Well, wala ho rito, sir. Teka. Ang naalala ko, sir, yung sa investigation data form, dated February 11.
Ano pong nakalagay na NPS docket number doon? Meron po ba?
Yun po, sir, ang hindi ko, Your Honor, hindi ko po ma-confirm kung anong NPS docket number. Ito ba yun? Teka, saan ang NPS ito?
Your Honor, may we just manifest for the record that the witness is perusing the IDF investigation data form that is attached to the articles of impeachment, Annex G9.
So noted.
Well, this is the document from the defense, Your Honor. I cannot confirm, Your Honor. As of the
Move on,
moment, I
Counsel.
cannot confirm.
But this is as received, correct? So in other words, you just received the document and you didn't bother to
Argumentative.
To check.
Objection.
Counsel, let him finish, but indeed it is argumentative. Move on to the next question, Counsel. With the permission of Senator Judge Tulfo, are you winding up or not yet, Counsel? Not yet?
far from it, Your Honor.
Then Senator Judge Tulfo is recognized. What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Tulfo?
Just manifestation.
You may
Mr.
proceed, sir.
Presiding Judge. And question as well. Mr. Witness,
You have 2 minutes.
okay. Mr. Witness, a lot of questions were asked to you regarding the filing with the Office of the DOJ, in particular, regarding the docketing, dating, subscription for an investigation data form. Now, can you tell this court what exactly is your role and what did you do in relation to the filing of this investigation data form? Ano yung pinaka-role mo talaga dito?
I
Yung
instructed,
papel mo talaga rito?
Yes, Your Honor. I instructed the executive officers as well as the agent on case to file our referral to the Department of Justice. So sila na ho ang nag-ayos niyan, sir, insofar as the investigation data form, insofar as other requirements. Ang instruction ko is comply with the requirement given by the Department of Justice, and then you submit it, and then kung ano yung kanilang guidance, you comply with it.
Okay, Mr. Presiding Judge, in my humble opinion, I think the errors in the investigation data form should be answered by the receiving office, and I think he's not hindi siya talaga yung dapat sumagot sa mga katanungan na ibinabato sa kanya ngayon. Mukhang hindi siya really that qualified at sumasablay-sablay itong taon to. Thank you.
Noted. Senator Judge Erwin Tulfo, thereafter Senator Judge Alan Cayetano. The variance is recognized. They may proceed. We have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Salamat po, Mr. Presiding Officer. Less than 2 minutes din po. Attorney Lotok, sa gitna nung DOJ certification dated February 5, 2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng kompletong affidavit of investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa di umanong sinabi ng Vice Presidente?
Wala po. Yun.
Wala. At sa gitna ng DOJ certification
wala
dated
kwentang,
February 5,
witness yan, antivirus.
2025 at yung pag-submit nyo ng
Huwag mo kaming
kompletong
kumbinsihin
affidavit
sa
of
tanong mo na yan.
investigation na tinanggap na ng DOJ, may nagbago po ba sa rekomendasyon ng NBI?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Salamat po, Attorney Lotok. Salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Senator Judge Ontiveros. Senator Judge Ejercito.
Post-dated
You may proceed,
subpoena.
sir. When you're ready, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you,
Post-dated
Mr. Presiding
subpoena.
Officer. Attorney Lotok, may
Opo, Your Honor.
dagdag clarification lang. The DOJ pointed out in its certification, yung pong pinakita kanina, noong February 5, 2025,
Post-dated subpoena.
that the NBI is not the proper offended party to file a complaint for grave threats and referred its initial referral for case build-up. As a result of the referral for case build-up by the DO, did the NBI later submit affidavits or statements from the offended parties, namely si Presidente Marcos, First Lady, at si former Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Hindi na po, Your Honor. Nung sinabit ho namin yung aming referral, yun po yung last phase ng investigation, and I think yung prosecutor na ho mag-i-issue ng summon sa mga parties involved. Ang purpose lang ho namin to comply with the requirements of preliminary investigation po.
But earlier sa inyo pong statement, sinabi nyo na ang isa sa mga factors no sa pag-evaluate ng threat, if it is really serious, is through determination of the relationship no between the parties. Sinabi niyo po yun kanina.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So did you try at least to get the statements of the President, the First Lady, or the House of or the Speaker of the House, former Speaker?
Ang pinagbasihan po namin, Your Honor, yung official statement nila dun sa website ng Presidential Communications Office, and then yung public statement ng former speaker during the plenary session on November 25, 2024, sir.
So that was the basis yung pong nasa PCO website. So you did not bother to get the statements from the offended parties?
I think nung nakita ko namin yung video na nag-issue ng statement yung presidente, na-establish ko namin yung requirement kung ano yung treatment ng presidente nung marinig niya yung utterances ng vice presidente. So, nung nakita namin yon na may reaksyon, ang sabi nga niya is nakakabahala. Based sa aming primary jurisdiction, nag-start to kami ng investigation, sir.
Kanina rin, tinanong ko yung tungkol doon sa revised affidavit of investigation, no? Which you submitted after the DOJ referred to the case for case build-up in its certification doon nga sa February 5, 2025. You mentioned that is just a compliance on the part of the NBI.
Your Honor, ito ho yung part ng evaluation at saka case build-up process. Pag nakita ho ng prosecutor na may kulang pang mga attachment para ho mabuo, maging pulido yung kaso, nagbibigay ho sila ng mga requirement. O NBI, kulang ka nito, i-comply mo to para maidakit natin sa preliminary investigation.
So normal lang po yun, no? Sa investigation agency na magsabit ng additional evidence or revise the affidavits after the case is referred back by the DOJ for case build-up.
As part po ng evaluation at case build-up process, nagtutulungan ho dyan, Your Honor, yung prosecutor and then yung investigator base doon sa requirement ng DC-15, Your Honor.
You mentioned that, last point, Mr. Presiding Officer, you mentioned that the case before the DOJ is still ongoing.
Yes po.
So as of today, Attorney Lotok, there is still no determination by the DOJ if the case referred by the NBI should be filed in court because there is prima facie evidence of reasonable certainty of conviction.
Well, Your Honor, wala pa po kaming nare-receive na any updates from the Department of Justice. Ang alam po namin is nasa PI pa ho siya, preliminary investigation process, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Lotok. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Preliminary pa rin ang tagal.
Noted and entered into the records. Attorney Binluan, you may continue with your cross.
Your Honor, I believe that there's a hanging question insofar as the NBI is concerned. What docket number did they follow? 00048 or 0049?
What's the response of the witness if he knows?
Your Honor, I don't have the complete affidavit. So I cannot confirm, sir.
So you do not know what NPS docket number the NBI is using whenever it files subsequent pleadings to the NBI to the DOJ regarding this case?
Definitely there is that IDF, there is that NPS. Hindi ko lang po, Your Honor, ma-ensure kung anong NPS number po yon.
Ang ginagamit ninyo?
Ang ginamit. Pero nandoon po yun, Your Honor, naka-attach po yun sa affidavit of investigation.
Proceed, counsel.
So you cannot confirm which between the two.
As at the moment, hindi ko po hawak yung...
Yeah, but what if we show you, as I said, what if we show you the certification dated February, two certification, can you be guided?
Ask an answer, Your Honor.
Counsel, he already
what's-
looked at the
what's the
documents earlier before the senator judges intervened, and he couldn't. With Mr. Witness, Mr. Attorney Lotok, what document did you peruse earlier? The annex to the impeachment complaint, right?
Annex to the...
That was the document shown to you by counsel for the respondent earlier.
yes, Your Honor.
Upon your perusal of that document, can you say what the NPS docket number is that NBI uses?
Your Honor, isa lang ho ang nandito na IDF. So isa lang yun nandito, Your Honor. Hindi ko makita yung isa pa. Ang nandito na naka-attach na IDF is yung 11 February 2025. So kung ito ho ang tinutukoy, ang nakasulat ho rito na NPS docket number 16-INV-25C-00048, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the certifications, the two certification also has docket numbers. Can we just ask him to peruse this so that he can make up his mind which of the two docket numbers they followed?
Then confront him with the document, counsel.
Your Honor,
What is your co-counsel showing him?
We are showing the document February 5 and February 14, which as I mentioned, contains 0049 as the ending docket number. Maybe just know, Your Honor, if that was the docket number that was followed by the NBI following the filing.
Counsel, before you answer, Attorney Loto, counsel, the first form, can you bring it up again? That's not an investigation form, right? That's a DOJ form.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is a receiving copy, Your Honor, because all of these were subpoenaed again from the NBI but not from the DOJ. So these were transmitted to the House Committee on Justice by subpoena. This is the latest certification that you received from the DOJ.
Your Honor, yung nandito na pinapakita sa akin is yung certification from the DOJ 05 February 2025 and investigation data form dated February 11, 2025.
So, which is which, Attorney Lotok? Is it 00049 or 48? The earlier one or the later?
I have here the second the second certification from the DOJ which says sufficient for conduct of preliminary investigation, reference number 16 -eval-inv -25A-00049, sir.
So the 49 is the latest one and is thus valid. Is
Yeah,
that
I
what you're
believe so.
saying?
Ito yung may sufficient for
All right. Okay. Now, let me direct your attention to the subpoena issued against the Vice President on April 29, 2025. This is the subpoena. And the issue is that the docket number is 0048. In other words, the VP Sara was made to answer to the earlier case that was docketed as such. Do you confirm this? You were part of this, correct? As the complainant.
Your Honor, can I object now, Your Honor, please? If I may, Your Honor, please.
What's the objection?
If I may, I will explain.
May-
Your Honor, I would like to object, Your Honor, please. This witness is incompetent because he is now being confronted with docket numbers supplied by agencies other than him.
If he knows, Your Honor,
That's
he was
exactly-
the complainant. Your Honor, he
Counsel-
was the supervising agent. It
Counsel,
says there
this is a
complaint-
DOJ document. Objection is sustained. Witness is not competent to answer these questions. You can call your witness to testify as to these documents belonging to the DOJ. Kindly move on, counsel. We've been at this for quite some time.
I'll move on. My next question is, the NBI's own evaluation is merely recommendatory in nature, correct?
yes, Your Honor, recommendation.
Okay. It is not binding upon the DOJ, correct?
The DOJ will assess, Your Honor, and evaluate.
All right.
the
But it's not
recommendation.
binding upon the DOJ.
No,
Kindly
the,
answer the question,
All right.
Attorney Lotok. You're a lawyer. You know the answer to this question.
yes, sir.
It's not binding upon the courts, correct?
If the DOJ
Your
report-
recommendation, it's not binding upon the courts, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in Filipino, para maintindihan ng lahat, kahit sabihin ng NBI,
Ask and answered, Your Honor. Ask and answered.
Kahit
He's just
sabihin ng
translating
NBI na
into
may grave-
objection.
The-
He's just translating
the question
into,
is not yet-
but the same question.
all right, kahit sabihin ng NBI na may grave threats or inciting to sedition, it is not binding upon the DOJ, correct?
Ask and answered.
The question earlier was with respect to the courts.
Correct, Your Honor.
Insofar as the DOJ is concerned, Mr. Witness.
So far as the DOJ is concerned, the DOJ will evaluate and pagkulang pa ho yung mga
The
requirements.
question is are your findings binding on the DOJ?
Not necessary, Your Honor.
So no.
No. All right. So in other words, rekomendasyon lang ang kayang ibigay ng NBI, correct?
Ask and answered.
Ask and answer,
all right.
counsel.
In fact, you attended hearings before the House Committee on Justice in April of this year, correct?
I think so. Nag-appear ako.
You
Hindi ko lang
appeared,
sigurado
okay.
kung anong date yun.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would like to object to this, Your Honor, please. Your Honor, this
Asked and
witness is-
answered, Your Honor.
No, wait.
Can I move on
He's
to
being
a new point?
confronted
Counsel,
with...
kindly wait for the
Your
counsel.
Honor, this
for
is
the
highly
prosecutor.
improper. This could fly if this is a committee of justice hearing, but this, with all due respect, is still a court of law. You cannot present clippings like that and confront the witness with that. That's not proper. You should be presenting documents. You cannot do props. Your Honor, please, this is highly irregular. Ask questions. illicit facts from this witness, don't use props.
Can I get a ruling on that, Your Honor? Because this
Counsel
is for the purpose of...
is not yet
Correct.
asking any question. He's just laying the basis by asking if he attended previous hearings in the House to test the credibility and perhaps to elicit either contradictory statements or confirmatory statements. Counsel, please proceed.
And one of the committee members there, I think it was Representative Sendanya, even asked for the elements of inciting to sedition. Do you recall that?
I think so, sir.
He also asked for the elements of grave threats, correct?
Yeah, if I remember it right, wala akong, hindi ho ako ang tinanong yata.
All right.
Sir.
It was another person, but also from
Yeah.
the NBI, correct?
I think so, sir.
All right. And the NBI explained the elements of these felonies during that hearing, correct?
Hindi ho ako ang nag-explain noon.
But
sir.
another person from the NBI did, and you were present, correct?
I think so, sir.
In fact, Representative Luistro even asked that the salient portions of your affidavit of investigation be flashed on the screen during that hearing, correct? If you can recall.
Siguro, Your Honor, pero di ko maalala.
You're not sure. Okay, that's okay. And when asked whether VP Sara's acts constituted grave threats and inciting to sedition, the NBI answered in the affirmative, correct?
Yeah, I think so, sir.
Okay. Now, my next question is very simple. Did the NBI at any point in that hearing clarify with the House Committee on Justice and the Filipino people watching then that its own evaluation is not binding upon the DOJ? Did you clarify?
I don't think wala akong tanong na ganon sa amin, sir.
So you were not able to clarify that, correct?
Wala ho kasing tanong.
Okay.
Tanong ika-clarify ko,
Okay.
sir.
So you were not given an opportunity to clarify
Ask
that
an
your
answer.
own evaluation, this is a different question. Wait for the question. That is not binding upon the courts. So was there an opportunity for you to explain that it was not binding upon the courts?
Wala akong question doon
All
sa
right.
amin, sir.
So in other words, there was no opportunity in that hearing to clarify that your evaluation was mere recommendatory.
Ask and answer, Your Honor, please. 4 times over.
No, the first
Same
question was
point.
a binding upon the DOJ. The next question is binding upon the courts. The next question is the nature of the recommendation. Did you clarify at any point in that hearing that your recommendation was merely recommendatory?
Question was, did they clarify or not? Answer kindly, Attorney Latok.
Wala pong question sa amin na ganon, sir. So, wala akong kaming na-clarify doon.
Very well. Let's do that now. For the benefit of this honorable court and the Filipino people watching, when the NBI evaluated VP Sara's acts to be grave threats or inciting to sedition, is that binding upon the DOJ?
Your Honor, ask and answered. This is now
Counsel-
the third cycle.
Already asked and answered several times.
I'll move on, Your Honor. Will you agree with me that according to our laws, the authority to determine guilt or innocence of a person lies with the courts,
Yes, sir.
not with the DOJ,
Yes, sir.
not with the NBI?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor,
Sir-
I will now object now, Your Honor, please.
Your
if
Honor,
I may
he's
explain,
competent
Your Honor,
enough to answer. Your Honor, he already
I may-
answered.
Counsel, kindly settle down. I know it's late and I know both parties are
Can
tired.
I-
Kindly wait for the chair to recognize you before speaking.
If I may be recognized, Your Honor,
Yes,
please. I am
Attorney
now
Ligutan.
objecting on the ground of relevance of this series of questions. The defense might forget that we are an impeachment court. Okay? And whatever the DOJ may rule on, whatever the court may rule on, the same complaints filed by the NBI against the Vice President